she rolls. And yeah, we're all drunk, get a little too high. If you wanna feel something new, hey, waste your time with me in California.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jasmine Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, also available on Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app.
Yes, it is hashtag Thought Thursday. We're going to talk about taking a quantum leap in faith because we come together each morning to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, align with our own loves, and get some great inspiration.
Yes, faith.
Faith.
I love that
faith.
topic. I think that topic can never get old.
Never get old.
Right?
I'm ready to take the leap. And so our very special guest this morning. Hello, everyone back in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
We have the gorgeous Adita Lang in the house, and she has superpowers, literally and figuratively. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us today. We want to know all about your superpowers later in the show, but first tell us, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Oh my God, my best morning routine is waking up to just meditation without getting out of bed, strictly just really recentering myself and getting ready for my day. And then I love to watch inspirational videos, and I kind of put them on in the background of my house, and I let that be what I listen to in the morning, and then I start my day supercharged and ready to go.
Love that. What inspiration video did you watch this morning?
You know what, this morning, I flew in from Miami yesterday, and so this morning we did not quite get to do our morning routine, but tomorrow I will definitely be there.
Not necessary. When you live in Miami, it's always an inspiration.
That's true too.
True.
Spoken like a true Miami lover over here.
Love Miami.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Aaron Mink is in the house. He is the nation's #1 internet defamation lawyer. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning.
Talk about Thought Thursday, helping us defend ourselves both on and offline. But first, Aaron, tell us, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Well, I'll be honest, it's a little boring, you know, coffee, of course, maybe some exercise, but probably the favorite part of my routine is waking my kids up and just getting a big hug and a kiss from them. I've got 2 little ones, a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and that's probably the best way I start my day.
Love it.
A lot of work.
It is. Starts the day with love, though. Love that.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. A kindness extremist is in the house. Good morning, Shola. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Good morning.
We can't talk about how to make the workplace work for you, but first we want to know, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Every morning, my deal is 30 minutes of exercise, first thing. So I'm an early bird, so I get up around 4:30 a.m. every morning. So 4:35, try to get 30 minutes of exercise in. Then, very similar to Adita, I try to meditate, try to get my mind right, slow down. That's my spiritual practice. I really take that seriously. And after that, similar to Aaron, I have 2 little ones, so I'm very busy getting them ready for school, getting ready for camp. It's summertime, and that's pretty much every morning.
I'm tired by 8
That's a whole, that is a whole day right there, a full day. I love
Wow, and then you take a nap. Oh, well, thank you so much for being with us. Paul Gosselin is in the house. I'm ready for a cosmopolitan,
Me too. It's never too early.
which just so happens to be the name of his incredible production company. We're so excited to hear all about the series Misguided. But first we want to know, Paul, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Sure. I think I keep things pretty simple. I have some coffee in the morning, and then I turn on yesterday's soap operas, and I watch them in the background while I do my emails and answer anything that has come up throughout the evening and whatnot. So I just watch soaps in the morning, and that's sort of how I get my day going.
It's the first time we've heard that. I don't think we've had anyone mention in how many guests, 3,000 guests, soap operas in the morning, but I love it.
Well, supposedly his journey started with guiding light. How great is that for a metaphor in life,
Absolutely.
right? Well, thank you so much for being with us, Paul.
Thank you.
We have got the Beverly Cheese Store in the house and the owner, Norbert, with us today. Good morning, Norbert.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us. We are celebrating hashtag National Wine and Cheese Day, and you've got an incredible spread. Could you share with us what's in front of you?
Well, I brought a little bit of some summer treats. Cheese is very seasonal, and so I thought I'd bring a cheese that kind of blends the seasons with the cheese. You know, some of the flowers, some of the herbs, some of the specialties of the day.
Learn something new every day.
I know. I did not know that.
I love how he combines like the new love for gourmet food with old world charm, right? So good, Norbert. What's your morning routine? How do you start your day?
I like to have 2 cups of coffee and 4 Beatles songs, and then I'm ready.
4 Beatles songs. You're going to appreciate that.
Just setting the vibes,
Yes.
right? Well, thank you all so much for being with us. We're looking forward to continuing the conversation later in the show.
I feel like the world would be a happier place with more Beatles songs.
Let it
right?
be. Yeah,
Yes,
just
exactly.
saying, for sure.
Love that one.
Oh my gosh, how are you guys?
Great. I was at the event last night, so I didn't make it.
I did.
Yes. You didn't either, right? Yeah.
I did, and I was lucky. I'm wearing my Kate Mesta Lucky Key. Isn't this so fantastic?
Super cool.
It says Lucky, it even has a little crown. And I felt lucky last night. We were at the Variety Children's Charity event at the Paramount Backlot. It was hosted by Jamie Gold, who was recently on the show, and he has won the World Series of Poker. And it was a great community of incredibly brilliant poker minds and celebrities all coming together to give back to the children. There's Louis Lombardi right there. Nikki Whalen was on the carpet. It was a hot, star-studded event. We really had a great time. That's Jamie Gold right there. It was just so cool to see the little kids there, and some of them had never ridden a bike.
Wow.
Isn't that so incredible? It was just amazing to see what they were doing for the Southern California community.
How cool is that? So how much money did you win, Jazz?
Exactly!
We all want to know.
I'm one of those who likes to spin the wheel and leave it all to the luck, because if it's up to me, I will play it all and I will lose it all.
It's very Vanna White of you, spinning that wheel.
And I'm very good at the standstill, look pretty, not the playing part. No.
All good.
No,
all
not for
all
me.
for a good cause, though. So
Absolutely.
fantastic.
So thank you so much, of course, the Variety Children's Charity for including us last night.
Love it.
Awesome.
I'd like to say I was getting lucky last night.
In one way or another.
I've been like delegating I'm really getting organized around social media to delegate everything to my VA. So
Yeah.
it's a process, let me tell you.
When you say
It
delegate
is.
everything to your VA, Erin, what do you mean?
I mean, so social media, there's things throughout the day that of course have to take new things, but there's things I post throughout the month that are ongoing that someone else can do, or my daily morning meditation posts, things that are like, I try and get very consistent in specific genres and different things.
And when you reference VA, you mean virtual assistant.
Sorry about that, yes,
Yes.
virtual assistant.
Okay,
yes,
great.
sorry about
Which
that.
is a great tool and asset for people who aren't loving actually having to participate personally in their social media. Defer it out, people.
Yeah.
I mean,
totally.
I have to, throughout the day, I can't, take my video and then send it to somebody else and have them post, it's no way, but I do all that. But there's certain things that you can have delegated.
I love
so
it.
It's all about
It's good at being a celebrity, isn't it, Dr. Aaron?
Yes. Get that VA.
Speaking of, so
Need
we
a
want to
VA.
talk about taking a quantum leap today, and that's part of it, right? And quantum leap is not about doing something like getting organized to, do your social media. Quantum leap is really taking a leap of faith that is maybe a little uncomfortable. We call it like jumping off that, that mountain, knowing that the umbrella of the universe is going to, catch
Yeah.
you.
You build your wings on the way down.
Right? So, what is that exactly? How do you do that? Maybe it's something that you're ready to, move to that city that you've always wanted to move. Maybe it's calling up that person that you have a crush on that you really want to take, out for a date. Maybe it's throwing out everything in all the junk food in your house. I don't know what that quantum leap is, but I think it's important to have a conversation.
Yes.
About where have you taken a quantum leap?
Waking up at 3:30 a.m. It was a major quantum leap. Feels like it. I so many in my life, and it's a great conversation. I love this topic. I think the first quantum leap I really made was when I decided to give up the corporate job I had that I hated. I loved the people, but I hated the job. And I moved to Miami. That was huge for me,
Huge.
and then I sort of embarked on this career in entertainment, which was another quantum leap, very scary. And every other month was a different, sort of experience with that, right? It's like 1 month you kill it, and next month you make nothing. So many in my life, but those were two of the most memorable, I think. Yeah. What about you, Jez?
Well, it was a really interesting time in my life where I really felt like I needed to get ready to move on to something bigger and greater than what I was experiencing, because I had just come through a tremendous amount of healing. And I didn't know what I was getting ready for, what opportunity awaited, but I knew I had to make a leap, and it was a leap of faith. And I was terrified. And I remember praying, and I really just wanted God or the universe to speak to me through a burning bush, right? Really give me the GPS here, because I feel like I'm about to jump off a bridge. So God, universe, whatever, give me a parachute. And I remember hearing clear as day, why would I give you a parachute when I've already given you wings?
Ooh, mic drop.
That's
Exactly.
Divine
and I
mic
thought,
drop.
I was so afraid that I was going to fail. I didn't realize that I innately already had built within me everything I needed to fly. Regardless of what happened, whatever river I was jumping into or whatever quantum leap I was about to take, I got it.
Yep.
Right? It is interesting. I think that the biggest quantum leap we take is really an identity shift. And
I agree.
I've taken so many. I remember when I was in nursing school, my son was born, I quit nursing school because I was like, I couldn't leave him at the
really
daycare.
hear
It was
them.
just too traumatizing for me. So I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this,
You're gonna be
but I'm
answering
going
the
for
wrong
my
questions.
entrepreneurship. And I took that leap. When I came to LA,
Oh,
you
they
know,
do
my
come
son
out.
was a senior in high school, and I had to come out and finish my doctorate. I was just like, it was this big calling, and it was a quantum leap because it was like I was leaving an identity of the safe life I was living, and so many quantum leaps. But one that really sticks out for me is I was listening to a song this morning by a dear friend of mine, Tony Dominguez, who I was actually living as a coach with about 9 years ago. We were actually coaching Whitney Houston's daughter, Chrissy, who has passed away now, and it was not a good scene. You know, just to tell you the truth, the celebrity world, there's a lot of people around celebrities that kind of have dark energy sometimes, and I had to walk off that job because I knew it wasn't my truth. It was something wasn't right, and it was a quantum leap of faith because I had to have the faith that there was something that I felt like I was walking away from a big career.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, I can't do that if it's not in my integrity, and I walked out of it, and I got actually a lot of respect from a lot of people for doing that. So it was the right thing. Unfortunately, you know, as you guys know, the family has had some really hard times. But big shout out to Nick, loving you so much. But anyway,
You make a good
sometimes
point.
It's just like saying no.
Well,
It's
that's
the quantum
just it. I love that point, Aaron, because sometimes we often think that the quantum leap is to reach for something new, but it's often about letting go of something old. That's the challenge, is letting go of something that's familiar, that you're used to and comfortable with.
Yeah.
So
right?
Rob,
Exactly.
what tips could you share to let go of something old that's no longer serving you?
Yeah.
Whether it's a job, a relationship, a city?
Yeah, I love what Dr. Aaron said. I love what you said sort of around the identity shift. I think there's a difference between having faith in God and having the faith of God, right? And so the faith in God is like there's something out here, non-physical energy that runs the universe that I have faith in. But when you feel a connection or identify with that energy itself, and there's a oneness that you experience or realize, then it's a faith of God. And I think sort of that experience is what we all aim for when we meditate, when we pray. It's the experience of knowing that it's not just something that's going to be done, but something that's already done.
And I think it's a really important point to distinguish that when we're mentioning faith, any one
No.
religion.
No. It's really about the belief. It's whatever you believe, and just knowing that you're living your calling, your purpose, your truth, whatever that is. That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
One of the other things that I think I've always gleaned from the conversations we have is that, you know, if there's a desire in your heart, that is an indication of itself that it's meant to be realized. Like it's not put there on accident, you know? So kind of coming around to a belief in that the desires in your heart aren't accidental and that they're put there on purpose has been helpful for me.
Right. Yeah. So just shout out to you. You know, where do you feel like you're ready to take a quantum leap of faith? What are you willing to give up, or what are you willing to take massive inspired action around? So we want to know. DM us. Let us know. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk. I'm Jezza Moyer, the co-founder and host of EverTalk TV, and I am thrilled to introduce you to America's first live video streaming talk show network.
I'm so excited to be here on the couch with all you amazing people.
Yeah.
I'm just in complete awe. Thank you.
Happy to be here. And for those who don't know what goes on, this is a big old, there's a lot going on here. You do this every day.
Live.
God bless you guys. I mean, people, there's a lot going on.
Thank you for having me. This is an awesome studio.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I feel that, actually. I can feel that.
How exciting Motivation Monday. And the guests this morning have been incredible.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you.
And we have Rachel Boston, who is in The Last Bridesmaid on Hallmark. It actually is dropping tomorrow, the 22nd, right?
It is. Tomorrow night's our premiere.
Woo!
Congratulations. I'm so excited to welcome Jason and Ashley Waller to the show. Congratulations on the new beginnings. We're so excited for the premiere on MTV tonight.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it. Thank you.
The book is actually being shipped out today. It published this week.
What? Congratulations.
You guys are the first show that I've actually done talking about the book.
I think this is my first time my book's been up on TV. This is awesome.
Our friends at Universal Pictures have a special delivery for us this morning from a tethered himself.
Ooh.
Have you seen the film Us by Academy Award winner Jordan Peele?
You know, I'm sitting here next to you guys, and it's just like, this is a powerful moment for me. Like, you know, I'm humbled by it because it's like I'm sharing this movie with you guys, and you know, it's moving for me.
What are you most grateful for today?
I am so grateful to be here and to have the opportunity to be with all these wonderful, badass boss babes and with all of you. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to share the positive messages out in the world because I think the world really needs it right now.
What we've done and thanking me for the contribution we're making to their lives.
Oh,
And I thought,
nice. That's
this
great.
is what my purpose is. This is why I was born. Now,
Show the camera.
up to you to choose the winner. Is it Annie? Is it Haley?
That's why I like this show. You know, years ago I did the Dinah Show, which is Dinah Shore, and it was a daytime show. And it was kind of like this. And it was just like very up, and it was all positive stuff. They didn't bring negative stuff to the audience. And that's why I feel with this show. It's very relaxed. You know, it's very professional, but it's quite a bit of fun.
You can binge watch and binge watch.
You can binge watch.
And you can binge watch, or you can binge watch. Please binge watch.
You can binge watch and binge them on EverTalk TV. Thanks for coming. Bye.
First TV experience. I'm so happy I did it with you.
That will inspire, uplift, and empower you. Anytime, anywhere on EverTalk TV, your home for talk.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La, International Wine and Cheese Day. We have Norbert, who is the cheese store of Beverly Hills founder?
Almost founder.
Okay.
I started there in '75. The store had already been around for a couple of years, and I bought it in '78.
Wow.
After a very unsuccessful music career.
Really?
So that's one of the, you know, one of the stepping stools to.
Well, the universe wanted you in the
Cheese,
cheese and wine world, so
Yes.
music to our stomach.
Thank you.
So how did you develop this expertise in both cheese, wine, and gourmet foods?
Well, I grew up in Vienna, and my uncle had a restaurant there, so I was always around food. Came to the United States, moved to New Orleans. New Orleans is all about food and music. Went to music, right? Came to LA, and as I say, a really successful music career that landed me in a $1.80 an hour cheese store shop, yeah. And eventually I bought it. I took that leap of faith that you were talking about before and went into cheese.
So was it scary when you said, I'm going to do this?
It was absolutely frightening.
What do you think has been the key to your success? I mean, because for decades, you've had one of the most beautiful gourmet food shops right here in the heart of Beverly Hills.
Well, I think the key is my good looks.
Yeah, that always helps.
And charm, yeah. No, and just the fact that, you know, in Beverly Hills, we have a pretty interesting clientele in that they travel a great deal, they have certain expectations, they know about cheeses, they know about good foods, and it's just sort of developed from there.
So
you know, we bring in more, they want more. We bring in more.
We will always want
Beverly
more
Hills
cheese.
people.
I love at the top of the show you mentioned that we're having a spread for the summer season. Would you explain to us what makes cheese seasonal and the spread you brought
Well, cheese
for us?
is seasonal. You know, during the summer months, that's when the animals are out in the fields, right, in the pastures, and you're getting a fresher milk. Winter months, you're going to get, you know, the hay, and it's a different style of cheese. So many of the goat cheeses, the fresh goat cheeses, you'll want to have during the summer months because that's the freshest. And for the, you know, for example, some of the, like the Gruyères and the Goudas and things, they'll make them in the summer months, age them through the winter months, and then, you know, release them again the following year.
Interesting. So what'd you bring here today?
I brought a triple creme that we've done with a little bit of vegetable ash, some of the local flowers that are from that area, and the fruit and meat that goes very well with it.
So you have some really nice pairings. What makes that such a successful pairing? Because I love a good cheese spread, but I never know what to serve with it.
Well, you know, there's a very important rule that I hope I can convey today, and that is that there's no rule. Right?
My favorite rule.
So that's
rule.
a great rule, and I live by that. By the way, does anybody want a little?
Sure, you can pour
I mean, it's not just for breakfast.
I always say my glass is half full with French roast or French rosé, so I'm quite happy.
Nice.
This is from a good friend of ours.
Habit.
Who makes Habit.
Ooh, it's a gorgeous color.
So what would you pair with anything? You can pair with anything with the
Okay,
rosé.
because these are fairly light cheeses, I didn't bring anything that's too fragrant. The rosé goes really well with it. This white from Austria goes extremely well with almost anything. It's a Grüne Veltliner. And for those that are not drinking, this is kind of a treat.
Oh, that's a great option.
This
I
is
always like to
very-
have something for the
Right.
non-drinkers.
What is it?
What is it?
This is verjus, which is the grape pressed. It's almost vinegar, not quite. And then put a little sparkling wine with it.
Oh, I like that.
I love
Have you
it.
ever
How's
met a
that?
cheese you didn't like?
Yes.
Really?
Of
What
course.
cheese is that?
I don't want to say.
You don't want to say?
No, not on
because you might
camera.
sell
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah. Don't want to be judgmental.
Interesting cheese.
So what's the top seller?
The top seller, well, of course, Parmesan. I mean,
It's
you know,
the
everybody
best,
buys
yeah,
some
it's
Parmesan.
amazing, mhm.
This, at the moment, is probably our best seller. This is actually from Austria, from the foot of the Alps. They take the cheese, it's cow's milk, and then roll it in the local herbs and flowers. Look at
Oh,
that.
wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's actually little flower petals.
Those are little flower petals, yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful. May we taste it?
I don't know.
I'm sure it would go lovely with this rosé.
Yes, it will.
Nice.
One for you.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow.
And then we're going to have a real leap of faith.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we're going to try this cheese, which is from Corsica.
Oh, so good.
Corsica.
They take the fresh sheep curd,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
then roll it in a little bit of herb, and let the mold grow on top. And when it's like really fuzzy and you think you'd have to shave it, that's when it's.
That is the leap of faith.
Yes,
that is a leap of faith.
Oh, I just love it. Norbert, I have a very serious question for you. What comes first, the cheese or the wine?
The chicken or the egg?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Should I sip and then bite or bite and then sip?
I would probably start with the wine,
Okay.
just to cleanse the palate.
How's the palate?
But again, the rule is there's no rule.
No rules.
I like. Well, tell people where they can find your shop, and they buy things online as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're online, cheesesstorebh.com, Cheese Store Beverly Hills, cheesesstorebh.com, yeah. And you can always call us, 310-278-2855.
What a concept.
That's it. Old school, you know what I mean? There are voices on this line.
And your store does provide some of the most beautiful gift baskets
Yes, we do.
year-round. I love that you said, over the holidays, you're gift wrapping during the day, you're tasting cheese, and at night, serving wine.
It's a rough life.
It's-
Thank you for taking the quantum leap.
Please.
Yep.
Yes.
It was my pleasure.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
From the Paramount Pictures Studio Loft for the 9th Annual 2019 Variety, the Children's Charity Event!
from Los Angeles. Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are so excited to have Adita Lang in the house. She is a certified fitness instructor and author who actually has superpowers.
Love that.
Ooh, I love Gotta work those superpowers at all times.
So what are your superpowers?
Well, when I teach about health, I teach about that health is a combination of your exercise and movement, your food and relaxation, your sleep and relaxation, food and nutrition, and happiness. And if you can combine those and balance them out in your day-to-day, those are your superpowers, because then you can do anything and you can motivate as many people as you want to.
That is a serious superpower.
Yeah, self-care.
Yeah.
Self-care,
Right,
the
yeah.
balance of all of it for sure.
How can we really prioritize self-care?
You know, I think first off is that we have to realize that self-care is not selfish. Those are two different things. And I think that a lot of people, and especially women, we tend to take care of everybody under the sun and we forget to take care of ourselves. I know that with my kids, many times I've been in the car where they have snacks and I have no food and I'm starving. And so these are things that we have to realize that we need to take care of ourselves first. And when we do that, we are just so much happier. I've been in the midst of chaos with my work and my kids, and it's homework time. And I have two choices. Either I have had my tea and my lunch and I'm really centered and I've had my workout in the morning and my meditation, or if none of that happened, everything is gonna just like set me off. And I've got to recognize that, and I've got to recognize that, wow, I'm set off, not because we have this homework that's kind of making me nuts, but it's because I didn't take care of myself. And so by taking care of myself, I realize that, hey, I'm a stronger person that way, and I can then share with them.
So how do you shut off or turn off or not listen to the excuses one would make for not taking care of themselves? I was too busy, I was traveling, I had to work. There's all these things. I couldn't take care of myself.
We have to realize that that stuff is in our head. I actually, 2 days ago, I was with a client of mine, and she's having a really hard time with her weight. She's a fairly new client, and she says to me, oh, but you know, I can't. I get to the point where I'm so stressed out at work that then I just need to eat something sweet. And I looked at her and I said, but realize that that's in your head. That nothing's going to happen to you. If you didn't eat something sweet, if I tied your hands down, are you going to pass out or fall or anything or die? No, it's in your head. Yeah. And so she's now looking at it going, wait a minute. And I looked at her too and I said, realize at the same time too, you're allowing your work to make you eat bad foods that then is hampering your health.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense either.
Also, I think it's interesting. I remember years back learning that you can over-exercise, and you know, sometimes people just think, oh, I'm just going to push myself to it, and it's not necessarily what's healthy. I mean, working out is, of course, very good, but there's a time when people work out too much, or they work out when they're tired, which hurts their adrenals, which hurts all. So what is that balance for people? How do you know when too much is enough, or what's that?
Well, you know, interestingly enough, the American College of Sports Medicine came out not that long ago and said, look, we need between 150 and 300 minutes of activity per week. And that activity is anything that increases our heart rate and makes us sweat. So on that note, house cleaning is activity. Doing gardening is activity. And we need to start recognizing that if we can just incorporate more movement throughout our day, we don't have to feel like we've got to go to the gym for 3 hours and, you know, work at a certain intensity, that we're doing it throughout our day and we're keeping our metabolism spurred on. You know, I've been known to walk into my building holding, you know, bunches of groceries in my arms, and this sweet little old guy, he sees me every time, and he says, can I help you? You know, he's being the gentleman. And I'm like, no, this is part of my workout. I want to do things, you know? And so this is stuff we've got to do. The more activity we can incorporate throughout our day, the less regimented our workouts have to be, because our body is going to be healthy that way.
Absolutely. How'd you come around to prioritizing self-care? Was there something that happened in your life that made you decide this was important?
You know what? I've been in health and fitness for over 30 years. And granted, the first part of my career, I was single, footloose, and fancy-free. And then I got married and had these 2 amazing children. And with that, that's where I recognized it. Because all of a sudden, I was like, I don't feel well. And I don't feel energized. I don't feel happy. And I don't feel giggly. And like, what is going on with me? I call it the fog. The fog set in. And then that's when I realized, wait a minute, I haven't been taking care of myself. I'm taking care of the other 3 people in the house. And so that's really where it all started, because I'm like, no, I call it the happy high. And I like when I have that happy high throughout the day. Yes. It's that energized thing that's right in the middle of you. Right. And I like having that. So I needed to bring that back. And that's when I started playing around with everything.
That's fantastic. And I think a lot of people struggle too with the idea that adding self-care or a self-care routine to their lives is like adding items to their to-do list. So how can you help people get their heads around that? Because I think people don't want more to do.
Oh, no, absolutely. And so that's one of the things that in my book I try to share is I try to make this as simple as possible. Really, really simple. So even just like I said to you about activities, so for those people who are like, you know what, I don't have 60 minutes to go to the gym, it's no big deal. then just do small bits of activity throughout your day. Walk further to your car. Silly things like that actually help us. The same thing when it comes to food. So food can energize us or food can deplete us. So sugar, flour, dairy, and alcohol, they all break down as a sugar. And those things will deplete us. So the key is to have 0 to 1 sugar per meal and snack. And so if you're going to have coffee, cream, and sugar, you're not going to have it with toast, jam, and juice, because then that's all sugar. You're going to fall from that. And unfortunately, when we fall, then we get lazy. And then we don't, and then we're like wasting time that we could have been doing something for ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
So we want to make sure that the foods that we're eating actually energize and empower our day.
So is that what's here in the superpowers of the family kitchen?
Okay, so that's a sneak peek because I literally got that proof 2 days ago.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the press, that is there. And so that is more so for families to really learn that really the foundation of health is through foods for your kids, and that we are creating their health foundation by what we feed them. Many times I run into parents that just want to feed their kids I just got to feed them just to give them something.
Yeah.
And they're not realizing that every bite that child takes is creating their health foundation for when they're 50. And it sounds really bizarre when you look at it that way, but it's the truth.
Yeah. I love that you talk about health as being more than just the food or just the workout, because I think that as a culture we need to we need love. We need human touch.
Yeah.
We need sleep. We need the things as just as if not more important than the workout or, of course the good food is really important, but it's a whole thing.
No, absolutely. And so, like when we were talking about easy things, so when it comes to sleep, you should be waking up ready to get up. But if you're waking up going, oh my God, somebody pull me off the bed and let me hit the snooze button 12 times, that means you're not getting good quality sleep. And so that's something that we need to do. And it's something as simple as making sure that our room is pitch dark. And every LED light, it sounds crazy, but every LED light needs to be covered up. Because when you're asleep and your eyes hit that light, even though your eyes are shut, that light still penetrates through your eyelid and you start to wake up, not fully, but enough to disrupt your sleep. So we would need to do the small things that we can do to make sleeping better. And then at the same time, we need to hang out with our peeps and we need to laugh and go for tea with our friends and put in those small moments of time that make us feel really good.
Without feeling guilty about that. There's so much guilt around fun because there's so much else on our to-do list and so many responsibilities at home that sometimes I know I can speak from experience. I feel guilty just for having a good time.
No, but we can't do that because having a good time, again, it creates that happy high. And that happy high can inspire us to do so much more in our day. That's when I talk with people, I realize they don't get that, if you're looking at time, so just take 10 hours, but if in that 10 hours, 5 hours you're frustrated, you're feeling guilty, you're upset, well, that's now going to delay progress. But if you could maybe just take if you want to feel guilty and upset, use that in 30 minutes. And then the rest of your day, you can do so much more and you can inspire so many more people that way too.
Fantastic. We just love your energy and your life. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you and get these incredible books.
I am at aditalang.com, so that is ADITALANG.com, and you can find everything there, and I'm on social media through Adita Lang, and it's all there.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.
Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk. I'm Jezza Moyer, the co-founder and host of EverTalk TV, and I am thrilled to introduce you to America's first live video streaming talk show network.
You can binge watch and binge watch.
You can binge watch.
And you can binge watch, or you can binge watch. Please binge watch.
You can binge watch and binge them on EverTalk TV. Thanks for coming. Bye.
That will inspire, uplift, and empower you anytime, anywhere on EverTalk TV, your home for talk. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. A fellow lover of daytime television, Paul Goslin is in the house. He's an actor, writer, producer, and of course the founder of Cosmopolitan Entertainment. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah.
I'm
So
excited to have you.
let's start right there with your lapel. Guiding light. Very in alignment with us here in La La Land. What inspired your journey? What was your guiding light?
Well, it actually is funny to say, but it was the soap opera Guiding Light. Like, I would get home from school. It came on around 3 o'clock in Vermont, and I would do my homework, and I would just watch it. And I fell in love with these characters, these stories, the actors, and I thought, I want to do that. Like, I want to do that in the worst possible way. And so it's sort of been my mission to do that. And
Wow.
as weird as that is my story.
It's not weird at all. You've created some incredible projects, including Misguided, the series. Tell us about it.
So Guiding Light, after 72 years, was canceled. So this huge dream that I had was now gone. Wow. And I didn't know what to do with my life. And I was living in New York, and I thought, this is when I'm going to take my quantum leap and go to LA. And I didn't have a job. I didn't have a place to live. I bought a car and moved out. I got to Salt Lake City and I was like, Stephanie, I think I need a place to live when I get there. And she offered up her second bedroom and sort of took it from there. But Misguided came from that love of Guiding Light and wanting to be a part of soap operas and working with these incredible people.
So tell us about the show.
So Misguided just finished its 3rd season. It started as a comedy, just telling stories about me going to a casting director who worked in soaps, or seeing friends that were actresses on soaps that I picked up in a lift. And then second season sort of took it into an actual soap opera route. I casted a woman, Jacqueline Zeman, who plays my mom. She's been on General Hospital for over 40 years, a legend. And Jean Carroll, who was on Guiding Light when I watched back in the 80s, 90s.
I just got chills. Like I have this picture of you as this, little kid watching and having this dream, and then fast forwarding to this. I mean, what a great story.
It's been incredible, and to have this season, I cast a woman, Cynthia Watros, who I grew up watching on Guiding Light. Loved her character. Would write fan fiction about a character I created being her long lost brother, and to have her walk in. I just started crying. I was like, I'm trying to be professional here, but I need this moment to just sort of soak in how incredible this is and how far I've come. And she was so great and gracious and wonderful. And
just incredible. What do you appreciate about yourself most in this journey? Like, what qualities did you exercise most consistently that you think led to this place where you've got this incredible project?
Sure. So shortly before I left New York, I was living there for 9 years. And New York is very... it's very busy and chaotic.
It's like a living anxiety disorder.
Yeah,
I live there, and it's great, and it's wonderful, and also stressful.
And probably 2 months before I moved out to LA, I had this epiphany almost to stop worrying and sort of allow the universe to take its course and stop trying to direct it. And it's worked out pretty nicely.
Like, I would say.
I took that leap of faith, and I just was, stop worrying, stop stressing out about it. The universe is going to take care of you in however it's supposed to.
It literally delivered your dreams.
It did.
How incredible is that? Like, what does that feel like?
It feels crazy in a way. Like, I'm a little kid in Vermont watching these soaps, and to come full circle and now get to be a part of this community of daytime dramas in my own way is, I hopefully inspires. Because
that's the genius, I think, of the universe, is that we feel like we're so misguided.
Yes.
But it's like the universe has this way of taking us off track. They're like, oh, this is how you want to show up.
Exactly.
Completely different than I would have planned it out, right? It's such a brilliant name.
Which is why it is a brilliant name.
it's
It's
a
so
brilliant
clever.
name. It's a brilliant
How
name.
did you get your mind and your heart around like embracing this idea that you could let go but accomplish more? Because the universe was directing and guiding you. What was it that let you do that? Did you read books? Did you watch videos?
So I've had this weird journey with faith and religion. And my heart's really been open to exploring different kinds of religions. I grew up Catholic. I'm not a practicing Catholic anymore, very much a recovering Catholic. But I have opened my heart to experience different things. So I had a friend bring me to a non-denominational church, and there was a sermon that was being taught about how the Lord will provide for you regardless. You're no less important than the birds who have the ability to find food no matter what. And it was that kind of inspiration that I was like, I could do that. Like, I could sort of let go of all of these worries, and it's sort of come to this nice place where I don't have to stress, and I can just sort of be and live in this happiness, and it's been truly happy.
Yeah,
That's truly the true prosperity, right? So congratulations on all that. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited to see just the unfoldment of all those seasons to come.
Me too. I'm writing a 4th season, so I'm hoping to make it even bigger than what it has been. And to think that it's come to this moment where I can sit here and talk to you about this is something I never thought would happen when I wrote that 1st season. So this has been really nice. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow your personal journey and Misguided.
Sure. So I'm on pretty much every social media platform as Cosmopolitan, P-A-U-L-I-T-A-N. And then you can follow Misguided on Instagram at Misguided Series or misguidedseries.com.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm Jasmine Moyeg, host of Good Morning La La Land on EverTalk TV. As a little girl with big dreams, I couldn't stop talking. I turned that into a career at premieres, at red carpets, and even a talk show. And recently, I had my aha moment. I was hosting a live event. A woman who represented a national cancer support community gently pulled me aside from the glitz and the glam, and she thanked me for mentioning their program on my show. Because of those few words that I had spoke on air earlier that week, one of our viewers battling cancer reached out and got the financial and emotional support she so desperately needed. I'm so grateful to have experienced that moment, a moment that truly reflects how much conversation and community matters. We need more of what matters. It is my passion and purpose to create content and lead a conversation that will ignite the light in my community and empower them to live their best lives, starting today. I'm Jasmine Moyeg, and I'm a host on EverTalk TV.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land on Thought Thursday. It's all about inspiration and positivity around here. So no one better than an activist, optimist, positive author himself. Shola Richards is in the house. Great author. How are you, hon?
Great, Dr. Aaron. Thanks for having me.
So glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about what you do and what your journey.
You know, it's funny, at the top of the show when you're talking about quantum leaps, right? So my thing is around kindness, specifically in the workplace. And it kind of came from a dark place, to be honest. And 14 years ago, I was working in a work environment that can only be described as soul destroying. And that's not meant to for hyperbolic effect, sincerely soul destroying. And to make a long story very short, 14 years ago, when going to this workplace where I was being repeatedly bullied and harassed for about 2.5 years, I made a decision I was going to take my own life. And the decision that I made, it wasn't just thinking about it, I actually attempted. So 14 years ago, I was driving down the 405 freeway in Los Angeles, and I decided I was going to try to drive my car off the overpass to make it look like an accident. And for reasons that I don't quite know, the guardrail held. To make a long story short, I came onto the shoulder of the road, and I made a decision in that moment. That was like my spiritual awakening, for lack of a better way of putting it. It's like what was happening to me, I did not want to happen to anyone else. And I was thinking to myself, gosh, am I the only person dealing with this? 50+ million Americans are dealing with workplace bullying and harassment in the workplace. I'm like, why isn't someone doing something about this? And I was like, well, hey, and you're somebody, do something. And here I am.
I'm a firm believer that whatever our darkest thing, our most suffering, our trials, that's the calling.
Agree.
That's the calling. And it touches me and it brings tears to my eye because I know there's so many people that are suicidal and they don't want to hurt their family. And they think about how can I do it without having it look like I took my life, because that would be so cruel, right? But if it was an accident,
that's right.
If something happened. So thank you for saying that part of it, because I think so many people probably have thought of that won't come out of the closet with that.
And sadly, too, Dr. Aaron, I think now there's so many people in 2017, the World Health Organization listed depression as the #1 cause of disability in our world. And there's so many people suffering, so many viewers of the show, so many people who maybe are just in the workplace suffering in silence. This is an opportunity to bring to light and get them the help that they need.
Yeah, so true. Wow. I know that all of us.
Just incredible. I mean, so inspiring. And of course, it strikes a chord within my own heart. How did you pivot from that moment when you had the awakening to being able to write these books? Because it's a bit of a journey usually. It takes a little time to turn those thoughts and those experiences around. What did you do and how did you get here?
Pain's a great motivator, Rob, right? You know this, you know? Yeah. So I was in a position where I had to do something. I just couldn't sit and do nothing. That wasn't an option. So I took my pain and I wrote the books that I most needed. If I was struggling, if someone write these books about how to deal with toxic workplaces, difficult bosses, how to work in an environment where no one's there to help you, human resources is not a resource that's willing to save you, reclaiming your own power is really my thing. And so when I had the least of it was when I needed to start the process of gaining most of it. And so far, it's worked out pretty well.
I see that. Indeed,
So give us some tips. For somebody who's out there that is dealing with not a great work environment, what can they do?
First thing first, and I cannot say this enough, is the willingness to accept that you are being targeted as a workplace victim or bully. Now, I don't like to use victim really, but a target of workplace harassment or bullying. So that's a hard step because a lot of people are like, you know what, maybe I just, I'm too thin-skinned and I'm not ready to deal with it. If someone is verbally abusing you, God forbid, physically abusing you, in some cases they are doing things to make your workplace toxic in whatever way, being honest to me like, listen, this is happening to me. That's the first thing. Gather your friends. Get people who work with you who may understand what's happening and be like, you know what, I want to use these people as kind of a strength in numbers type of a thing to make sure that most bullies aren't bullying one person, you should bully a group. And then document clearly what's happening. Be really real about the documentation and make your case.
Wow.
And do you make that case with who? Do you make that case to the HR? Do you make that case to your manager? Who do you make that case to?
The case depicts, in some cases, the bully can be the manager, right?
Yes.
So in some cases, I mean, really making a real case to HR first. And the thing is, if you're getting all emotional about it, it's not really helpful. You gotta be really specific, really clear in your documentation so that they have a factual-based argument to be able to look on. And if there's a workplace bullying, like let's say rule or some policy within the workplace, if you can have your documentation line up against that to say this runs counter to this policy, you made a stronger argument than you did without it.
And Charlotte, what can you share with us about Go Together?
Oh, Go Together. So the workplace book, this is my very first one, Making Work Work, was about the workplace. This one specifically, Jesselyn, was around, that one did really well. I was like, what about the world? There's a lot of toxicity in the world right now, right? So we have, left, right, and Democrat, Republican, and all these people trying to find their own tribes and separate themselves, the opposite of a spiritual practice. The word Ubuntu is an African word that is based in this word, go together. It's based on a quote, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And the word that drives that is a word called Ubuntu, which means I am because we are. This book is to talk specifically around how to get people to come together, regardless of what side, and most importantly, standing up against people who may take joy in separating us, right? And not just sit back. It's our responsibility to have that conversation. If you're sitting at the Thanksgiving dinner table and Auntie Anne is talking about, something that's racist or homophobic or something that's really inappropriate, having the courage to be like, I think differently about that, or we're not going to do this at my table. This is about having that conversation and having it in a way that's courageous and real.
Just love that. Really fantastic. In your own life, have you, of course, you've been applying this consistently, huh? What would you say is the most difficult part for most people when they're dealing with toxic situations or having a difficult conversation? Is it regulating their emotion? Is it finding the words? What's the most difficult part?
Oh, it's self-doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, we're always thinking that we're the problem, right? I mean, I suffer from it. I suffer from the imposter syndrome where people kind of like, just another day where no one found out that I don't know anything. That's horrifying, right? It's the worst thing ever. So I tend to be in a place where self-doubt is the thing that stops us so much from doing the right thing. So this book helps people to really build that up in themselves a little bit. And the hardest thing, I think, is that if there's something that we can do in a practical way, we need to be kinder. Just need to be kinder. And there's a quote that drives my work from a guy named Brendan Manning. He says, in every interaction, you're either giving life or you're draining it. There is no neutral exchange. I don't care if it's the guy crossing the street when I walked into the studio, if it's anyone here, that kindness has to be consistent. It's not a spiritual practice if you do it when you feel like it. You have to do it consistently.
Oh, I just love that. It's fantastic.
What a beautiful story you have.
Thank you.
Yeah, total, the ultimate, for me, the ultimate purpose to come out of such a dark place and transforming it into the light. So tell people how they can work with you. Can they work with you personally?
Oh, yeah,
Can they-
absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about that.
The easiest way to find me is at my website is Shola Richards, SHOLA, Richards.com. All my social handles are there, my emails are there. Easiest way to find me is just through those, through the website.
And the books are there?
Books are there, and on
Awesome.
Amazon and anywhere where books are sold.
Thanks,
Thanks, Rob. Very sharp outfit, by the way, man.
Takes one to know one right
listen,
there.
I try.
I think you are brothers from another mother.
man. This next level, man.
Stay tuned.
Thank
Back
you.
with more Good Morning La La Land.
Hi, I'm Dr. Erin, host of Good Morning La La on EverTalk TV. I'm a doctor of divinity and I absolutely love being a host. And the reason why is because each day I wake up and I come into the studio and I'm always blown away by the amount of different stories coming together. My mission is to awaken 1 billion people. And I have been blown away to realize that it's not just the spiritual people, that we talk to people that are on reality TV, we talk to actors, we talk to people who have had incredible stories and trials and triumphs, and there's a common denominator between all of them. Every single person desires to have a greater life and awaken to the best life they can live. I'm Dr. Erin, and I'm a host on EverTalk TV.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are so excited to welcome to the show the nation's #1 internet defamation lawyer, Aaron Mink. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
So let's start from the very beginning. What is internet defamation?
Sure, it's when you're defamed online. Have negative information that's false, that's not true, that's on the internet about you.
So that's everybody's Instagram. Right? No, but in all seriousness, with social media comes haters, comes trolls, and they post things that aren't true about me, about each one of us online. Is that something that we can take legal action about?
Sure, absolutely. If it's something worthwhile to take legal action.
What makes it worthwhile? What justifies coming to you?
If there's a lot of harm. The stuff that I deal with is fairly serious. Lots of times on social media, people are going to hate. The haters are going to hate, right? But at the end of the day, the people who come to me, who look for help for my services, are the ones who are, what's happening is very detrimental to their reputation, to their business, to their life.
Could you give us an example, just so we understand?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the, people will be extorted. There'll be an ex-employee who goes on a rampage, just trying to destroy a company or a business or someone's reputation.
What's the difference between slander and that? Is it the same?
So slander is oral. It's just speaking words, and then libel is online, and defamation is the combination of both or either. So yeah, either or.
Yeah. How did you come into doing this kind of work?
Yeah, so it's pretty niche. I'm an attorney, and I graduated from law school in 2010, and it was probably one of the worst job markets in the last 20 years to come into during the recession. And I kind of just fell into it. I wound up getting a client who had been defamed online. He was a business owner, and he needed help getting it down, and it was on a website called Ripoff Report, and I was the only one who could help him because you need a court order to get off that website. So the Ripoff Report was just destroying his business. People were finding it. It had a ton of terrible stuff written by someone. He was an entrepreneur. He'd taken a risk on a new business venture, and it just hadn't worked out, and someone lost some money.
So, Aaron, if someone does feel that they have been defamed online, what do they need to bring to you? What information do they need to gather to build the case?
Sure. Well, you need to definitely preserve evidence, right? You want to take screenshots of what's happened. You want to print things up to preserve that. So if it disappears, then you have evidence that it happened at the end of the day.
And I'm guessing, well, I don't know. Should people respond to whoever is sending messages about them or to them, or should, for the most part, screenshot and then move on?
It really depends on the context at the end of the day, right? If you're a big corporation, you're probably going to want to respond, right? You're going to get some negative things here or there, and as a PR thing, it's always best to respond. But
If you're a small business owner in Ohio, what do you do?
right, if you're a small business owner, or it may not be the best idea to respond. It's always case by case, right?
So let's take the opposite. Let's say that
Sure.
something is out of ethics. Is there a time to make a report online and let the public know of? It would only be if you won a case and then you put I don't really understand. Like, when would it be okay?
Right. I mean, it really depends on the situation. When it's a pretty serious allegation that involves legal elements, it's not always best to respond right away, because you could say something that's false about the other person, or it could subject you to liability. So if it's a pretty serious legal issue, you should probably refrain from responding, talk to your legal counsel, and then decide what you want to do about it. So
I mean, this could go as basic as a bad Yelp review.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, can people take action for that? Let's say you had a horrible experience and you're like, I'm going to tell the world not to go to this restaurant. Can people take legal action?
Absolutely. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you can't just go off suing people and calling a lawyer every single time you get a Yelp review, right? especially if you're in the travel industry or a restaurant business or something. You're going to get bad reviews from time to time. It's more of when it's serious, when it involves something that you can't ignore and it's going to cause you to lose, a ton of business. When it's something that's really going to financially harm you, it's going to affect you. And we deal with privacy concerns, like revenge porn, things of that nature. People who get some of the most private, intimate aspects of their life blasted online, who, that's gonna, if they don't do something about it, it'll follow them around forever. Wow. So, and we talk a lot about, or you talk a lot about positivity on your show, having your truth. We're the defenders of truth. I'm the defender of truth. So, we go out there.
Because I was going to ask that, like, how do you deal with that as a lawyer, like dealing with kind of dark stuff? But I guess that's where you might find your kind of peace in, is finding that you're actually fighting for truth for whomever.
Absolutely, and that's what we do for our clients. They come to us, and many times they're in a deep, dark place. They've got people, just horrible things about them online. That's not true. That's just, it affects them every single day. It carries around with them. Their Google search results become their image in a lot of ways. It becomes a reflection of who they are, and they need to do something about it. And once we get that down, I've had people who cry to me. They're so happy. It's such a relief to them.
Do you ever have clients that come that you're like, yeah, you kind of like, you deserve it? You can use some worse reviews.
Yeah.
How do you deal with somebody that you're kind of like, yeah, you kind of deserve that one?
Well, we don't judge people. Our job is that we help people, and people can progress, they can evolve. Everybody makes mistakes in their life, So having the opportunity to get that out of your search results and not have that hang around, even though if it's something that happened years ago, to affect your ability to get employment, affect your ability to continue to enter into relationships with people, it's really good to help people in that way. And look, if someone's just a bad person, well, that's a repeat customer, right? So, but that is an aspect of it. We do. Look, we're here to help, and that's what we do best, and we do our job, and we try not to judge. There are some people where we're just like, okay, look, we're just not going to touch that one, right?
Do you practice nationally?
Yeah. Yes, globally. So we've gone to 3 different countries: Iceland, Canada. We get clients from all over the nation. It's a very specific niche. We deal with clients all over the nation. I just came in from a trial in Dallas, Texas. I was out there earlier this week, so it's, yeah.
So please tell everyone where they can find
Absolutely.
you.
Mink Law, minclaw.com is where you can find us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are Good Morning
Thank
La La
you.
Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Thank you very much for celebrating National Cheese Day with us. Special thanks to the Beverly Hills Cheese Store. We are live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. All of today's interviews are available as a podcast on iTunes, and the whole show is streaming on Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. You guys have a great Thought Thursday, and may you live your truth.
Don't send any negative DMs.
That's right.
We got help.
It's going to be Good Morning La La Land.